activity 10.40. I'm going to use this activity to explain the other two accounts that I haven't done yet. I've written in the balances in those accounts. I just want to see if Reese is here. Okay. Doesn't want to share that, but there's nothing I can do about this. Let's just try and to minimize. I've written in the balances, so I'm going to have a look at the other information. The first one was raw materials purchase cash. I'm going to write that this is now at the end of February 2018, so don't forget your date must now be February. Did I switch on the screen now? It's telling me. Switch on the screen. Give me a minute, please. Do you find this work difficult or not? Not difficult, no. Anybody told you that we don't really know if you're going to write an exam or a test at the end of the year? Do you know about that yet? So if it is a test or the exam, whatever the case will be, I will really not ask anything that we haven't done in class. So no work if this term we are supposed to do, let's say, a projected income statement, and we do not get to that, I will not ask it. Then we will rather do that next year. But we need to push as much as possible of the work that we are going to need. I'm not supposed to be. Forgot about this now. Okay. I need to try and push it if we don't have that much work left of grade 11 for grade 12. Okay, so for example, I know that we don't do clubs in grade 12 at all, so we're not going to do clubs at all in grade 11 because it's not part of the grade 12 work. Normally, the clubs must be asked in the form of an iPad project or a case study. We're not going to do it at all because it's not important. Right. So the raw materials that we bought February the 20th. This is now 2018. And it's February the 28th. We bought raw materials cash, which actually bank, remember, an amount of 270,000 something will definitely not be cash. It will be bank. And the amount that we bought was 279,600. Are you fine with that one? Then that says raw materials purchase on credit. So that would be creditors control. That amount was 65,970. Then I said carriage paid on raw materials. I'm going to have bank and in brackets carriage. And that amount was 5,320. Then raw materials issued for production, 2018. February the 28th, UNODE goes to raw materials issued. And they tell us that amount was 424,630. I'm going to write that in my work in progress account, 2018, February the 28th. This is direct material cost, please. Don't forget that you have the correct wording. The amount was 424,630. Are you okay with the story about raw materials? Are you fine? Then they tell you indirect materials, cash purchases. Now, I ask you to show me an indirect material account. Where did I do mine? I didn't do this. Let me just quickly get one for us. I'm going to have an indirect material account. I'm going to put this here. Indirect materials. Beginning of this year, 2017, March the 1st. Remember, it's not a balance. It comes from consumable stores. On hand. It's not a balance because they said it was in consumable stores. That means that at the end of last year, you transferred whatever was left to consumable stores on hand. Beginning of this year, you have to transfer it back from consumable stores on hand to indirect materials. Are you fine with that? This is going to be, what was the amount? 7980. Okay, are you all right with this, people? Do you want me to show you why I have consumable stores on hand there and not a balance? Are you fine with that? Tanika, are you fine? Anybody a problem? Are you all fine? But then they say that indirect material, the cash purchases, 15,400 for the year, 28th of February. I'm going to have bank. And the amount was 15,400. Let's say cost of completed goods manufactured. You know that what you are what's completed during the year will go to your finished goods. So I'm going to write it in so long. I know I don't have an amount yet, but I do know that this will be finished goods. I don't know the amount yet, so I'm going to put a question mark there. I don't know the amount. Are you all right with that? Because in accounting, when you read, you do. Are you fine with this, people? Then they tell you the sales of finished goods. Fine, let's leave it like that. The sales of finished goods we're most probably going to use to calculate cost of sales. Because if we give you sales and we give you the profit markup, you can actually calculate cost of sales. Are you okay with this? Then the totals on the 28th of February for wages. I ask you to do a wages account. So 2018, February the 28th. This will be the balance. Total is the balance, draw down. And the total was 369,550. The direct labor must go to which account again? Can you remember? Where does the direct labor go to? The direct labor must go to which account? Sorry? No, direct labor before. From wages, it must go to where? To what? From wages, it must go where? Can you remember what was the root? Let's have a look just again in case you've forgotten. Because it is really important that you know this. Just find this quickly. The root for labor. I just want to share this with Reese again. Right. Remember the root for labor. From wages, it goes to direct wages. From direct wages, it goes to direct labor cost. From direct labor cost, it goes into work in process, remember? So from wages, it must go to direct wages. Are you fine? So if you in the wages account have direct labor cost, you're not going to get the mark because you didn't take the accounting route. Are you fine with this, people? Okay, let's go back to the other one. We just get Reese back again. Right. Okay. So this must go to direct labor. And they told us that direct labor was 332,950. That I can write inside my factory work in progress as direct labor cost. And the amount was 332,950. Why did I ask you to do the wages account? Because I need to make sure that you understand that in the wages account, whatever was direct labor goes to direct labor. And from, yes, wages or labor is the same thing. Okay, direct wages, okay. Direct wages, it goes to direct labor cost. Is that right? It can be direct wages or direct labor, whatever is fine with you. And from there, it goes to direct labor cost. So from your direct wages account or your direct labor account, it goes to the account called direct labor cost. Are you fine with this, people? Are you fine? Right. Then they tell you there was indirect labor. The indirect labor, you know, goes to factory overheads. And that was 36,600. I'm going to write that inside the factory overheads account. This is indirect labor. You can either write indirect labor or you can write wages. It's the same. And that was 36,600. Are you fine with this, people? Are you all fine? Are you okay? Then the salaries, the factory foreman salary, that would be indirect. You can write this as salaries. You can also write this as indirect salaries. In your business, you will decide, am I going to take it from salaries directly to factory overhead, or am I going to take it to indirect salaries? It's fine, whatever you write. This is going to be, his salary was 77,000. Now we get to the work that I wanted to explain. You see, they give you the salary of the selling and distribution staff and the salary of the administrative staff. Though any administrative costs must go to the administrative cost account. Any expenses for sales and distribution must go to sales and distribution costs. These are, especially next year, when you have to do the income statement of a manufacturing business, then you must understand that inside the income statement is normally sales, cost of sales, gross profit, other operating income, gross operating profit, and then you have operating expenses. That part of the income statement doesn't look like that. You don't have operating expenses. You will have selling and distribution costs, and for that you will have a note. And in that note you will write all those expenses that you incur because you are selling. And then you will have administration costs and a note, and in that note you will have all the other costs. The insurance of the factory, of the office building, the stationery used in the office building, the telephone of the office building, the secretary's salary of the office administrator. So you must get into the habit of distinguishing between which is administrative cost and what is selling and distribution cost. So you are just classifying your expenses into two groups. Do you understand this? So the salary of the selling and distribution staff will obviously form part of sales and distribution costs. So I'm going to write it in here. Salaries. And the amount for that, I didn't ask you to open this. The amount for this is 87,920. The salary of the administrative staff will form part of administrative costs. So I'm going to have salaries here. And the amount for that was 66,530. Are you okay with that? So all you are doing with all your other expenses, you are just classifying them either sales and distribution or administrative. Are you fine with this? So actually, if you think about expenses are now in three groups. Factory overheads, that is all the other expenses concerning the factory. But are you fine with that? Then the expenses concerning the selling, so your shop and everything inside the shop, all the expenses regarding the shop is sales and distribution costs. And the offices where the administrative processes take place, that is your administrative cost. So normally you will have one amount for salaries for all your salaries. In a manufacturing business, salaries is going to be divided into direct labor. Those are the people who are making the product. Indirect, those are the other workers of inside the factory. Then the people who sell this, their salaries will be sales and distribution. The salary of the guy who drives the delivery truck will be sales and distribution because he is going to deliver the stuff that was sold. Do you understand this? And then the salary of the people working in the offices is sales and administrative costs. Do you understand the difference? So it's still the same amount for salaries. You are just splitting it into different cost components. Are you all right with this, people? Okay. The next one was depreciation. The one on the factory plant will obviously form part of factory overhead. So I'm going to hide here depreciation. And that amount was 5,400. The depreciation on the office furniture will be administrative costs. So I'm going to have depreciation here. And that was 5,100. The depreciation on the sales vehicle, so that must be sales and distribution. So you will still calculate depreciation as normal, but instead of saying you close it off to profit and loss, you're going to close off to factory overheads, the depreciation on the factory equipment. You will close off the depreciation on the office furniture to administrative costs, the depreciation on the delivery vehicle to sales and distribution. Do you understand it? So you will still, your calculation for depreciation still stays the same. Instead of closing it off profit and loss, you now split it into your three departments. See a factory as a department. The fact, if you have a manufacturing business, you have a department for making the product, a department for selling the product, and a department for the administrative entries regarding your business. Do you understand this, people? Are you fine? Okay. The depreciation on the delivery vehicle was 21, or on the sales vehicle was, obviously that's the vehicle of the rep. The sales vehicle is the vehicle the rep is driving to go and try and get sales for your product. Are you fine with this? Right. The maintenance of the factory can only be factory overhead. So in factory overheads, I'm going to have maintenance. And that amount is 13,650. Are you fine with that? Then insurance on the factory. So that will be factory overheads. That is going to be 18380. Insurance on the administration offices will be administrative cost. And that is 19,660. Bad debts. Bad debts is specifically sales and distribution cost. Why? Because if you do not have sales, you will not have bad debts. So bad debts will definitely always be part of your sales and distribution cost. And that is 1085. The commission on sales, that's what you pay your sales staff. So that's like an incentive for them. It's like an extra salary. So that will also be sales and distribution cost, commission on sales. You pay that. That was 22870. Sundry administrative expenses is obviously in the offices, so that will be sundry expenses. That was 31,100. Rent expenses I'm in the administrative cost. I'm going to do the administration offices. That's rent expense, and that is 9,600. And the factory rent, which will form part of factory overheads, that is 24,000. Are you okay with this? This is now easy because it's split up. In the next exercise, we're going to give you, for example, the insurance is 10,000. Then we will tell you 20% is on the factory, 30% is for the sales, for the shop, and the rest is for administration. And you have to calculate. You have to take the total for instance, and then you calculate what belongs to whichever part of your expenses. Do you understand this, people? Are you fine? Right. Now we get to stock at the end of the year. Before we get to stock at the end of the year, you now need to know that all these factory overheads must be taken from factory overheads into into the factory itself. How do I do this? I'm just going to total. Can you see once again? There's no balances given because normally you will use, I left out something. I did indirect wages, no? I did everything. There's nothing left out here, am I right? Okay. So I tend to forget. No, I did leave out something. What about indirect? We left out something. Think, what did we leave out? Indirect material. We left out indirect material. Now, how do I get indirect material? Remember, I asked you to show an indirect material account. I'm just looking for one. This is what we had at the start. This is what we bought. What do we need to figure out? We need to figure out at the end of the year how much went to factory overheads. And obviously, we should have something left at the end of the year, which will go to consumable stores again. So one of those two amounts I actually need to give you. One of them they will have to give us. Now let's see. They did not tell us how much indirect materials were used this year, but they do tell you what is the indirect materials at the end of the year, which is 6320. Can I now get the amount that must go to the factory? Yes. Are you fine with this, Tamika? Tamika, are you fine? So let's add the 7980 plus the 15,400 gives me 23380. The same on this side, 23380. How do I get the amount that went to the factory overhead? I need to take my total. I'm going to write it over here so you can see. The 23,380 minus the 6320 is going to tell me how much of my indirect material was taken to the factory, 17,060 Rand. Are you okay with this? Grade 11? Where's Michelle today? Don't you know? Are you fine with this? Okay. Inside factory overheads, I need to write indirect material. You just saw the calculation, 17,060. If you did not do the account, your calculation you would show it in here, please. It's the 7980 plus what we bought. We bought 15,400 minus what was left at the end of the year. If you did not do the account, show the calculation, please. You are not going to do the account in a test or the exam, ever. Show the calculation. Are you all right with this? Are you fine? Right, now let's see what is our total factory overhead. Please check my calculation because my calculator hates me. Do you get 192,090? Is that right? 192,090. Add correctly, Karen? Okay. That is the total of the factory overhead. We know that factory overhead must go to the factory account. The factory account is work in progress or work in process, whatever they tell you the name is. 192,090. 192,090. Are you all right with this? Are you fine? Do all of you understand where I get the factory overhead from? This will now go inside my factory, my work in progress account. This is my factory overhead. And it's 192,090. At the end of this month, at the end of the year actually, you need to total this account. You know that you will have some of your goods would go to finished goods, those that you completed, and there will be a balance. This is the unfinished goods. We have to give you information for you to either have the one of the two amounts or to calculate one of the two and the other one is the missing amount. In this case, they told us that work in progress at the end of this year was 65,400. Can I now calculate my finished goods? Yes, I just need to total this account, the 63,000 plus the 424,630 plus 332,950 plus 192,090. If I total, just check if I totaled correctly. Is the right total? One, no, I have one. There shouldn't be, that shouldn't be there. One, I said like this. 1012,670. Please just check if they add correctly. Is it right? 1012,670. How do I get my finished goods? I'm just going to write the calculation at the top. It's 1012,670 minus 65,400. Are you fine with this, people? Are you fine? So what is the finished goods amount? It's going to be 947,270. Are you okay with this? Are you fine with this? Balance brought down beginning of next year, which is March the 1st. Don't forget to bring the balance down. It's a balance sheet account. If you have to do a balance sheet of the manufacturing business of your factory, the balance in the work in progress will form part of the note for inventories. Are you fine with this? In finished goods, here we are. Hold on, something went wrong. Right. In finished goods, you just said that that is what you completed this year, so obviously you would have taken that to the finished goods account in 2018. Remember, finished goods is like your shop. So that must come from normally you would in your shop have a trading stock account. We now have a finished goods account. It's in the place of your normal trading stock. 947,270. Now, what do you know about your shop? You know that some of this was most probably sold during the year. What was sold must go to cost of sales. We don't know yet what the amount is. And then hopefully at the end of the year, there will be a balance carried down. Because if you have no balance, it means that when your shop opens tomorrow, you have nothing to sell. You can't actually ask no customers will be allowed. So we must either give you cost of sale or we must give you the balance. Or if we don't give you anything but we give you sales and the profit markup, then you can calculate cost of sales. You realize that now? Okay. In this one, they told us what was the balance of the finished goods, 72,370. Can I now get cost of sales? Yes. I'm just going to total this account. 1004, please check. 1004,670. How do I get cost of sales? I'm going to say the 1004,670 minus the 72,370 is going to give me my cost of sales. $932,300. Okay with this? That is a balance. Remember, if you have to do a balance sheet, your balance in the finished goods account will form part of the note for inventories. Sorry, 72,370. Are you okay with this? Are you fine with this, people? Anybody who has a problem? What remains? Wages, factory overheads. Right, we'll get to this. Now, the only other balance sheet account that I still have is my raw material stock. This account will also, the balance in this account will also form part of the note for inventories. So we need to balance this account. How do I balance this? I'm just going to total 145,123 plus 279,600 65 plus 5320. 495,890. On the opposite side, 495,890. This will have a balance carry down. How do I calculate this balance? I will take the total, the 495,890 minus what was issued to the factory. 424,630. So we have 71,260 rand left. But that's the value of our raw materials on hand. This is in March the 1st. March, not March. Okay. Right. Almost, I want to stop. The one that's a little bit more difficult. Activity 10 points. Let me just see which one I want you to do. .16. 10.16. Do the account that they ask you to do. 10.16. We can finish this next time. 10.16. Unfortunately, you have the short periods this week. So 10.16, please, for next time. I just want to save this as yours. Right, you may go. Goodbye.